Welcome to the Any Spartan Show. Josh, Sandy and myself cover a whole bunch of ground this week. Josh drops a bombshell. We talk about Fit Challenge, we talk about Spartan Race, Ultras, Citi Field, halving the burpees, Tough Mudder, and a whole bunch of races coming up in May. There's more of them as well. Enjoy the show. Welcome back to the Any Spartan Show. It's episode 73. I'm
proud that you checked that.
I did go and check that. I had to check that.
I'm impressed that you knew that right off the top of your bat. Or top of your head.
I've had the tab open in my browser for about the last 10 minutes.
Wow. Okay, I want it noted for the record. At 4:26 at 9:40 p.m., Paul Jones was prepared in advance.
And that is where my preparation ends.
I'm not concerned that we got the episode number right, but how long has it been since we did an episode?
A long time.
Not too long. Not too bad.
A month?
No, it has not been that long.
No.
Okay.
Although, to be fair, the last episode we arrived with zero agenda, and at least this time we do have an agenda to follow.
We have an action-packed agenda.
We do.
All right, so let's get into it. What's first?
Do it.
Why don't we start out with the bombshell, Josh, that you dropped before I hit record? Do you want to repeat your bombshell?
I mean, I wouldn't consider it a bombshell, so I
don't know. We've got avid listeners who hang off this stuff, you know.
A lie.
All right, so I'm going to challenge the listeners, if they're out there, if there's any of them. You have to go back and tell me the episode number in which I said I was no longer going to do any Ultra Beasts. Only so you can use that episode number to contradict what I'm about to say, and that's I'm gearing up to go do the Ultra Beast on Saturday in New Jersey this weekend.
And what did you say about this Ultra Beast?
Then it is my last one ever.
So, Josh, why is this your last Ultra Beast? When you love them so dearly.
No, I wouldn't say I love them, right? There's like a love-hate relationship with all of these types of events. But for me, so my focus this year is I want to focus more on shorter competitive races. So the endurance races were fun, but I felt like it was very difficult to get better because you're just busy recovering from these ridiculous endurance races. And I took a page out of Josh Fiore's book when we interviewed him a couple months ago. Mm-hmm. If you notice, he only has like 2 races on his schedule all year. Yes. I got like 6 races in May. So I think I'm going about it the wrong way. So I'm just going to change trajectory a little bit. And after the Ultra Beast this weekend, we'll go and do some short form races, and I'll still do a bunch of beasts, you know, just to do them. But my goal is I want to be competitive on the short stuff.
Well,
so first of all, he prefaced that with saying this year, which means nothing because his focus changes every year. We'll see what it is next year. And he may go back and go, no, this year my focus is on 3 or 4 just endurance races. But time will tell. And second of all, I'll still do a bunch of beasts. Okay.
I mean, we're only 3 minutes into this, and I feel like this is already picking on Josh, episode 73.
Well, you know, start as you mean to go on. Let's all get comfortable with that.
That's true. All right.
So what I've noticed when you look around the scene, you either have the endurance runners who do 1 or 2 races a year, like Josh Fiore does, and then you have the injured ultra runners, right? The guys who do 6 in May, where do they all tend to end up?
Yeah, hating their lives in October.
So probably a good move.
We'll see. It remains to be seen. Well, talk to me on Sunday. We'll do a recap show on Sunday, and we'll see how I feel about it.
Okay. So why don't we start there then? Let's talk about
there. Tell us about the Beast and the Ultra Beast. You're the only one going to, right, Paul? You're not going to Jersey?
No, I'm not going to Jersey. I gave up Jersey long before they turned it into a beast.
Okay.
Yeah, I did too. So I won't be there either.
All right. So we'll tackle Jersey first, and then we'll move on. So this is, I think, the 3rd year of Jersey doing the Beast early in the year. So this year, this is the first Ultra Beast event since Iceland's Spartan Ultra.
So is it an Ultra Beast or is it an Ultra? Is there now a difference?
So it's still called the Spartan Ultra now. So they are not specifically calling it the Ultra Beast. However, to date, there are only Ultras on Beast courses.
Okay.
So unlike in Iceland where they did 5-mile loops, in this case what they're doing is the promise when they announced the Ultra format was they guaranteed 30 miles to make it a true Ultra, because really an Ultra event, regardless of whether it has obstacles or not, is technically not supposed to be less than 30, I think it's 31 miles technically, but whatever. So the goal was to hit 30 miles, and they had a few Ultras last year that came short of that. Jersey last year was only like 26 and a half, 27.
Only.
Yeah, only.
So the goal was to deliver on distance and then deliver on a unique kind of Ultra experience. So again, going back to last year, the Ultra Beast was always pretty much 2 laps of a beast. And there were very rare instances where you got an extra little segment of distance or anything unique for being an Ultra competitor beyond getting a buckle at the end of the day and a specific finisher shirt. So fast forward to this year, it's a little bit different. So what they're doing this year is in Jersey, they have the course mapped out where they've actually cut out a 3-mile, actually it looks like about 3.5 mile if I eyeball it, a 3.5 mile ultra specific loop on Mountain Creek. So a couple things that are actually new for this year. So they have obviously the ultra loop, and a lot of the same, rules pertain to the ultra as did the Ultra Beast last year. You get a transition period or a transition point where you go halfway and you get to swap out your gear and whatever, check in and move on. You've got time hacks that you have to abide by. And each race is different. I won't go over the individual ones, but the Ultra this year has, again, that 3.5 mile loop in it. On the map this year, there is also a new obstacle. It's called the Armor, ARMER. No indication as to what that is. I've heard a lot of rumors swirling around today, and I won't say any of them because I don't believe any of them to be true until I see the thing on Saturday.
So let's make one up.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear just one because I'm having a hard time picturing what it might be. Can you just give us one with the understanding that you don't necessarily believe it?
Or that you might have made it up.
So, well, I'll give you 2 of them, right? So the 2 that I've heard, one, it's a carry, because when you look at this list of obstacles, there's a bucket brigade carry and there's a sandbag carry, but there's no log carry, and they typically have log carries in New Jersey. So since there isn't a third carry, this could just be another carry with something stupid. The other thing that we've seen the last couple of weeks is some of the overseas Spartan events have had these newer looking obstacles. One of them was a monkey bar with a little rotating bar in the middle, kind of like Ninja Warrior, where you actually have to rotate you guys see me do it on camera, but obviously the people don't. But you have to rotate the wheel and then get around it to the other side of the monkey bars. And then there's also a rig looking build with these little Spartan helmet hand grips that I've seen at some events in Europe last year. Mm-hmm. So that picture is making its way around social media. I don't believe any of them to be true. I don't know. We could be picking up a suit of armor and carrying it 50 yards and then carrying it back. I have no idea. So,
okay,
we'll find out exactly what it is. So,
well, thank you for speculating.
Yep. I mean, if I do anything well, it's speculation.
So really the only difference between an Ultra Beast and an Ultra is that they guarantee 30 miles and they're putting in loops to make sure they hit that 30 miles.
There's one other very big difference.
Go for it.
The Spartan Ultra is purple.
Well, holy shit.
The medal, the t-shirt, the what?
So they'll have a buckle. They'll get you'll get a pie piece, a purple pie piece. You'll get probably an ultra specific t-shirt. And if you haven't seen the t-shirts this year, I'm not wearing mine at the moment, but tech t-shirts.
And this is an audio only podcast.
Right. So tech t-shirts, nice fit, super comfortable. I'm a big fan of them. Hoping for a purple one, I guess. I don't know. So the other thing I'm wondering is later last year, they started giving out bibs at the halfway mark for the Ultra Beasts. So when you completed your first lap, you went out on your second, you got a bib. And the bib has kind of taken on like the same, pop culture following as the bands did for the World Championships. It's everybody wanted a bib.
Yeah.
So, we saw Rob give them out at Fit for his Ultra this year. We saw him give it out at Killington last year. Hawaii had them.
Well, didn't Tough Mudder World start the whole bib thing off?
Yeah.
I guess in theory, the death race started them all off. The death race was doing them first.
That's true.
So, okay.
That is true.
And quick news story, the death race is back this year, so.
Yeah, that's very true. Very true. I don't know too much about it, but yeah.
I'm sure we'll see lots of coverage from our favorite celebrities and media personalities.
Sure. All right, so you're heading down?
Yeah, heading down tomorrow. So Spartan also does an open house before the event, so you can go and check out some of the obstacles and drop off your bin and pick up all your stuff and all your need to have. So we'll be down there tomorrow, and then bright and early 6 a.m. we kick it off Saturday morning, and hopefully finishing sometime before 9 p.m.
Very cool. Good luck.
Now, I saw one of the open houses once before, and my understanding was that they were charging people to go on the obstacles.
No.
Is that true? Is that false? Now, this was last year, not this year.
So last year, it's free to register, at least for New Jersey. So you just have to register so you're on a list so you can get a wristband and go on course.
It's always free.
Didn't they charge $10 to give didn't they give a grab bag to people? They didn't even charge 10 for that.
Free.
Yeah, it's always been free. So
Okay.
The only thing they did charge for earlier this year that I think we talked about is the workout tour. They charged $10.
Yeah.
But yeah, the open house is always a freebie.
Okay, well,
good.
that's why I asked, because I didn't want to be incorrect and spout off information that was false.
And it's definitely categorically your last one.
Categorically, 100% my last one
This year.
this year. Hey, I'll tell you, I was excited when I learned about Iceland and I heard about the 5-mile loop format of Iceland. I was excited for them to implement that in Spartan, so they haven't done that yet. When we did Fit last year, the 3-mile loop aspect of an ultra is actually really interesting to me, and I like the different scenarios that come along with it, right? Being able to check your gear repeatedly, being able to see the same athletes over and over again, not being strewn across some mountain, God knows where. And I get it. That's part of the Ultra Beast, mental and physical challenge. But, I liked that idea of that 5-mile loop. So, if the opportunity came to go to Iceland, I'd probably recant what I literally just said 90 seconds ago.
So the last Ultra, unless
the ticket to Iceland finds its way into my pocket.
Well, I mean, if they keep doing the Ultras on Beast courses, whether they call it a Beast or not, they're obviously not going to be able to hit that format. But that does kind of segue into one of the topics that somebody asked us to cover, which was Tough Mudders 2018. I believe this is one of the things they're running into. Sandy, you might have more on that.
A little bit. I obviously haven't done one yet this year because there hasn't been one local. And I did have a couple people ask me if I was traveling, but no, I'm still recovering and I'm not cleared to work out or jog or anything like that yet medically. So I'm not going to travel for a Tough Mudder. But they are now doing, my understanding is that they have a 5-mile course. And so if you're doing the full mudder, you do 2 laps of the course. And on one lap, you do half of the obstacles. On the other lap, you do half of the obstacles, which I'm sure is a nightmare to try and figure.
Oh, wow.
I don't know how they keep people from doing all the obstacles both times or just skipping or whatever, although skipping has always been okay. If you're doing the half mudder, of course, you just do it once. And then they're incorporating a 5K Tough Mudder as well. And I think that what's happening is they might be trying to please too many people.
Yeah.
I think it's good to have choices for people to take part in. But if it waters down their product that they're famous for and that they're known for doing and doing well, then they may very well run into some issues. So until I see my first one in June, I won't be able to give a personal opinion on it. And I know that reception to it has been utterly and completely mixed.
Yeah.
Some people like it, some people hate it. Just like any other decision.
Sure. It seems crazy to me.
But I think the general idea is be careful trying not to please everybody all the time.
Yeah.
Which we know is impossible.
It seems crazy to me to do 2 laps of a 5-mile course and split the obstacles.
Yeah, but apparently that's how they're doing it. And some people have said it works really well, and some people have gone, no, it's complete chaos. Yeah. So I wish I could say for certain one way or the other.
Okay. All right. So I guess we'll wait and see on that. There was some...
The other hubbub just recently was today there was an announcement that went out from one of the people in the Legionnaire Facebook group saying, hey, the toughest and the tougher and the world's toughest don't count towards your Legionnaire status, towards counting towards your next headband level. And a couple people provided screenshots of emails that said specifically toughest does not count towards it. And other people had it from last year saying, yes, it does. And somebody else had an email that said, yes, it does. And apparently late in the afternoon, Tough Mudder came out and said, oh, that was a communication error somewhere within our ranks. And yes, it does count.
I can see people being pissed off if they did not count.
Especially since it's counted every other year.
Yeah.
World's Toughest has always counted. And last year, Toughest counted towards your total. Anything 10 miles or greater, I think, should count. Anything less than 10 miles should not. I think that's very fair.
Especially considering they don't have the best, and I don't think any company does, but they don't have the best tracking method either. So it's like, at what point can you even take somebody for their word or not take them for their word that, yeah, this is my 17th race. Well, did you do a toughest Mudder? Yes. Okay, it's 16. No, wait, I lied. So I don't know.
Yeah. They're trying to get a handle on it, but I kind of chuckle in the background and find it amusing.
That's funny.
Then there was 7 years in. Hey, let's go back and try and count all these things.
Yeah, right. And then there were the other changes back over at the Spartan side for stadium races.
Yeah, this is what interests me. I'd love to hear you guys' take. Well, so first of all, Paul, do you know what the changes? Can you specify for us what the changes are?
I think I will probably get it wrong because I haven't been following it, but they have halved the burpee count for obstacles at stadiums. So 15 burpees instead of 30 for any failed or skipped obstacle.
Yes. Oh, this reminds me. Sorry to go back 2 topics. The other thing that is rearing its head, and I think we talked about this late last year, at the Beast in Jersey, they have at least 2, I think, confirmed penalty loops instead of burpee penalties.
For elites?
I can't confirm nor deny, but we did penalty loops in Dallas.
Okay.
Whether we were elite or not. Yeah, apparently there's one at the spear throw and a second one somewhere unknown yet. So, Twister it is. My off-camera compatriot tells me Twister.
Now, is the halved burpee thing for everyone as well over at Citi Field or at stadiums? We'll talk about Citi Field in a minute.
Yeah, it is. So they announced half burpee count penalties, and that was across the board. So everybody. Okay. They cut back some of the, at stadiums they have like the jump rope. And if I recall correctly, I thought we always had to do like 20 or 30 jump ropes. Yeah. We only had to do 15 of those and 15 ball slams. I also remember the ball slams generally being 20.
Those used to be 20. Yeah.
And it's in an effort to make these particular events more competitive. So I was down at Citi Field this past weekend. Citi Field is infinitely more difficult and different than what we know at Fenway Park.
Yeah.
Because Fenway Park is a small baseball stadium by comparison to the other stadiums out there. So, one, you got a ton of stairs. They utilized every bleacher, every aspect of the stadium there. And then the goal is to make it more competitive because if you think about it, in a stadium race where it's I got 3.7 miles on my GPS for Citi Field, which again is significant. That's like 1.5 miles more than Fenway. When you think about the elites running this, if you miss a spear throw and you have to bang out 30 burpees, you are out of the event. There is no way you're coming back. So
I can attest to that.
Yeah.
I won an only attempt at elite. I failed one obstacle, and it knocked me automatically into last place.
Yep.
Youch.
So the goal was reduce the number of burpees, make it more competitive, make it a little more forgiving, but at the end of the day, make it more exciting, right?
Yep.
Because Spartan is moving towards this, putting everything online, live broadcasting everything. They've got video crews running with gimbals next to the elite athletes throughout the courses now, so it's not just static camera positions. So they want side-by-side competition, and they got they got a pretty good finish. I think Bracken Cracker, who took a little time off, came back and won by a very short amount of time, like seconds over Kempson. So they got an exciting finish. They got people running elbow to elbow, and I think if you look at what happened with Tough Mudder X, and you get Isaiah and Hunter knocking into each other, and Isaiah elbowing Ryan Atkins, like people want to see that side by side stuff. They don't want to see somebody win by 7 minutes on
30 burpees
race.
is very poor television.
Yep. So
very agreed.
So they cut down, some of the obstacle things that you had to do, and the obstacle mix is pretty straightforward. We've seen most of the same at every stadium event. Lots of stairs, sandbag carry, run outside into the parking lot and do your spear and your Atlas carry and your Herc hoist. They did bring assault bikes this year, so you had a 10-calorie assault bike row, or
did they have
whatever
enough?
it's called. They did, yeah. They had 3 rows, probably 15 deep, so there was a bunch of them.
Right.
Also,
how tough was that?
Exhausting.
Yep.
10
I
calories.
loved it when they had rowers. The rowers were my favorite.
Yeah. You plow into it, you're like, I could just bang this out really quick, and then you realize you've done 1.5 calories.
Yeah.
You're like, so yeah, that was a nice mix. Citi Field was great. I love the stadium. It's you get a unique look at a stadium you'd never normally be exposed to. So, and it wasn't far. It was like a 3.5 hour drive for us out of New Hampshire. So easy to get to.
Yeah, I did Citi Field in a day a couple of years back. I drove down at like 7 a.m. Figured it would take me a lot longer than it did, and I showed up. I was in the parking lot before it even opened.
Yep.
So it's a quick, easy drive. Did they have those stupid ab wheels? They got rid of those finally.
No ab wheels. What they have now are these little things that you put your feet on, little rollers, and you like crab walk yourself to a line.
They're car movers.
Yes.
You can buy 4 of them, and you drive up on them, and then you can roll your car around.
Yep.
They're a great ab workout. I bought a couple at Harbor Freight for that exact purpose, because you get a great workout in a very short, very small area.
That's fun.
Yeah, it was definitely a good event. I was a big fan of it. That was my first time. That was my first time at any other stadium race besides Fenway. So
now, did you? I was going to say, did you do it the year before? So was it a major difference with 15 burpees? Did you do any burpees?
I didn't do any burpees.
Right.
I did 5 burpees when I did my Atlas carry. No, I mean, just if you think about it, 30 burpees to me, I do not practice burpees at all.
No.
So right. Why would
no, I think it's a great idea. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not advocating to keep 30 burpees.
Right. But, if you think about it, you can go through 15 burpees quick, but if you plow through them quick, you're exhausted.
Yep.
So to me, 30 burpees, I'm sitting there for minutes, right? I got to do 10. I got to wait. I got to catch my breath. I got to do 5 more. So that's a physical task for me in and of itself. And as much as I would love to just never fail an obstacle again in the future, it's going to happen at some point. So I don't dislike lowering the burpee penalty, and I certainly don't dislike the idea of penalty loops. But I say that, under the assumption that it's going to be easier than doing the burpees. The grass is never always greener, especially when Joe is involved. So,
they're still going to be difficult, but 30 burpees is grueling. And when you're in the open wave and you're doing a dozen failed obstacles on a long course, 30 burpees is boring. So I welcome them having different choices or, alternatives for sure. What else? So 15 burpees at stadiums. We like it. I like it.
Yeah, I give it a thumbs up.
All right, good. What else we got going on? So that's the races we've done. Oh, Fit. You were at Fit.
I was at Fit. I'm getting to see a real trend here of me going to all the races and Paul, you not going to any of the races.
I'm going to Western Pompounder and Ragnar Relay.
Excellent.
So I have 2 in May. It's busy.
Sorry, I have an excuse.
You have an excuse, Sandy. You should recover.
I do too. I'm lazy and fat.
But you have an excellent furniture patio deck set. So you're good.
Follow me on Instagram for all my not DIY updates.
Yeah, so Fit was a couple weekends ago back in Cumberland. I just looked at Molly when I said those words out loud, and I think she vomited in her mouth a little bit.
So she liked it.
So, yeah, she loved it. So Rob has decided, so late last year, after we finished the 8-hour fit in Connecticut, immediately once he was done, he said, we're going back to Rhode Island. We're doing 12-hour ultras. Everybody gets a bib. Hashtag everyone gets a bib. So he has a handful of different events. So he had the 12-hour ultra, which started at 7 a.m. And the way he did it was pretty unique. So it was kind of like World's Toughest Mudder. So your first lap was all obstacles. So you go out, you run, you do all the obstacles. Second lap was obstacle free. So that just means you're doing the course. You don't have to do any obstacles, not even the carries. And the reason you did that was an hour after they started was when the elites went out. So then that frees up the course for the elites to go do, and elites at FIT have to do mandatory obstacle completion. So as the ultras are running, they're already on course. They're not hindering the elites. There's no backups at obstacles. So the ultras, they had second lap was obstacle free, and then they got throughout the day the opportunity to run 2 more obstacle free laps, and they got to pick which laps themselves. So before you went out, you checked in with the timing booth and you said, I'm going to take my obstacle-free lap. And then last part of the day, between 6 and 7 p.m., when it was kind of getting time to close out, obstacle-free as well for that last hour. So as much as it sounds like they ran a lot of obstacle-free laps, if you know FIT, you know Rob packed 30-plus obstacles into a course that is also on a very, very challenging hill. So people are doing tons of obstacles, tons of hanging walls, which are in and of themselves just an absolute nightmare to do, especially if you're exhausted. Rec bag carries, and I think Rob got a little soft on us this year because he only had 25-pound rec bags, so that was cute. But it and I'm sorry for anybody that's going to suffer the wrath if he hears me say that. But it was, it was great. He had 10 areas for all the multi-lap people, and beyond Ultra and Elite, obviously they had multi-laps, they had open waves, all the usual stuff. So you had people coming and going throughout the day. I do want to give a shout out to Dave Hooper, the owner at Train 180, who has been trying to podium at FIT for years and managed to finish third in the Elite. So he finally landed a podium. But not only did he land on the podium, he actually, in the last quarter mile, went to jump a down tree and busted his ankle on a tree log on the other side of it and gutted it out the last mile, where he also had to get over a hanging wall and climb over that rickety cargo net and get over the final rig. And then he completely collapsed on the other side of the finish line, but managed to take third place behind Mike Day, who's also a Train 180 enthusiast, and Kempson. Which Kempson? Keep me honest. Ryan Kempson? Okay, Ryan Kempson. I don't want to confuse them. So yeah, it was a great day at FIT. Super busy, and I think all the people that signed up for the Ultra, the joke was throughout the day when they would come down in front of where the Destroyer was, which is at mile 2, we'd ask them, "Hey, how you feeling?" And everybody gave the same miserable face and "I hate my life" answer. So I think Rob got everything that he wanted out of those 110 plus Ultra competitors.
Cool. So what did you do? Was that one of your final endurance races?
Well, I went to FIT not signed up for anything and not going to race at all. I was not planning on doing a single lap at FIT.
And how many did you do?
I did 3 laps. So Molly and Jess, Shouty Ninja, conspired. Molly was like, "Hey, Jess, you should make him run. He totally brought his race gear." So the girls conspired.
You went with no intention of running any laps and took your race gear.
Yeah, well, I wanted to be able to go out and do pacer laps because I got a wonderful guilt trip as we were leaving. I was like, I'm not even bringing my race gear. And somebody looked at me and went, "What if I need you to go out for a lap or 2 with me?" And
okay, so she goaded you into bringing it and then made you run with someone else. That was a total setup.
It was a total setup. You women never trust them.
So next time, coming from a woman, you have permission to go, "No, if I bring this, you're going to make me do it. I'm not bringing it."
I don't
Either way,
see
Sandy,
this
I
whole no
lose.
more ultra thing going very well for you, Josh. You seem to have an issue with peer pressure.
It's true. It's true. So I did go out and I did the one lap of the morning with Jess at like 9:30, and then as Molly was finishing her 6th lap, she looked at me off the side of the course and was like, "If I'm doing 2 more of these goddamn laps, you better know you're coming with me." So went right back out.
Peer pressure. You're doomed.
It's a nice course. It's super challenging, hills everywhere. I would not ever do 12 hours on it. He is doing it again next year. Or no, in November. I think he's doing it
Were
again.
there all the super technical climb through the rocks areas that he's used in the last courses?
Absolutely.
I don't know how anybody does those fast. It always
or
amazes
multiple
me.
times. I'd lose both ankles.
Well, Ryan Kempson finished, I think, in 41 minutes, which is only like 2 minutes off of Hunter's record pace.
Wow.
And he also had, so now you've got 2 destroyers and, what's his face? Larry Cooper from Full Potential Obstacles brought this Devil's Playground obstacle thing that was a nightmare as well. So
Devil's Playground brought to you by What's His Face.
Yes.
High class performance here, guys.
Yes. I don't do well with that living.
He's under pressure.
That one has to be accurate at least.
Off to the side of this, Molly's busy booking his next Ultra Beast.
She's furiously typing away on her phone, so there's a distinct possibility that is happening.
Oh boy. So that's what we've had come by, or pass us already. Am I missing anything? We've talked Fit, Citi Field, the changes at Spartan and Tough Mudder.
I believe that covers.
So May is a busy month. And we're
May is
almost
a very
in May.
busy month.
There's a whole bunch of stuff going on in May. The big one for us anyway being Ragnar Relay, which we're all doing on Team Ninjas.
No, I'm not.
Oh,
2 out of 3 of us are doing.
Sorry,
I
Sandy.
had to give up my spot.
But we also have I'm just pulling up the page now, but we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 race local events. Wasson Pounder and Tough Scrambles on May 5th. Run the Gauntlet May 6th. Call Me Bold on Sprint and Ragnar Weekend on May 12th. Bone Frog May 19th. So May is a busy month with a lot of stuff going on.
Very busy month.
Including
Savage down in Maryland. Some people are going down too.
Yeah,
True.
that's right. There's a bunch of people going down.
I'm going to Austin, Texas to run a super and get some barbecue in my face.
So, Josh, you are doing the Ragnar Relay to Spartan Sprint back to back, right?
I am doing the old 48-hour.
No more endurance races, right?
Well, I mean,
endurance weekend.
okay, so let me also preface this by saying, even though I'm not doing any ultra races, I am actually doing a 50K ultra in June. I just
You're not
pulled on
very
my
good at this,
schedule.
Josh.
I just pulled. Yeah, but that's just running. So
I'm spotting
that's just-
some cracks in this story.
That's just running.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But, Ragnar
just running.
Relay's just running, but how many miles are your 3 legs at Ragnar Relay?
I think I'm only doing like 16 miles,
Okay. And then the sprint.
and then the sprint,
next
probably
day.
two laps, probably.
So that's now, what, 24 miles in a weekend? With no
Yeah.
sleep on one of those nights? Probably 2 of those nights.
Probably.
Yeah. I'm spotting some cracks in this story.
There's definitely some flaws in my logic.
So if you see Josh anywhere in May, give him a Red Bull, point him in the right direction and give him a push.
Well, it'll be tough to find me because I will be in Cape Cod, in Austin, Texas, and then I'm finishing the month in Montreal. So
right.
yeah, if you happen to find me, it's like, where's Waldo? Just give me a boot in the ass as you
All
go
right,
by.
we'll do that. We can make that happen all
right.
over Cape Cod.
All right. So what else is okay? Wasson Pond is coming up.
Yep, I'm
May
taking
the
my
5th.
9-year-old. He's excited.
Wasson Pond is one of those great races. They've got a couple things really going for them. First of all, and for those parents in the group, your kids are allowed to run the full adult course. There's no separate kids course, so the kids get to run it. They do ask for you to be 8 and up because they don't want little kids out there who are just going to need to be carried half the course or just get in the way.
It is a 5K.
And the family
they should
waves
be
are at the
capable
end
of
of the day. But at the same time, if you have a kid that's younger than 8, you can email them and say, hey, I've got a kid. He's capable or she is capable of running a 5K, and I would like permission to have them run. So you can ask about that. And the other cool thing that I've mentioned before is that 100% of what they bring in goes to various charities. They don't make a profit off of it. Everything is done on volunteer basis and donation basis.
Yep.
So they do have to pay the medical and the fire department for being out there and keeping everybody safe and healthy. But other than that, T-shirts are donated. Wood and materials are donated. Build time is donated. Volunteer time, of course, is donated. Trash, recycling, and composting they have on site, I believe, if I remember correctly. All sorts of really good stuff. So this is not a company that's doing this to try and earn money for their pockets.
No.
They're doing it for various local charities. And we only have 36 Spartans, last I heard, signed up. So I realize that it's caught on the same weekend as Tough Scramblers. So a lot of people, since they live closer down there, are going to go to Tough, which is also a fabulous race. And at some point, maybe they'll have one during the year that's not on a date that's the same as something else.
Good luck
because
with that.
I really want to do Tough again.
That seems to be a challenge these days, is finding dates.
I think fall is going to work this year for Tough. But those two events are coming up. And then on May the 6th, Sunday, is the Viking Race in... Do you remember what city it is in New York, Paul?
No, not the city name, but it is not very far over the border. I mean, from Central Mass, it's about a 3-hour drive.
Yeah, we're not talking in New York City.
No.
Not all the way over in
New York.
Albany or any of that. It's right near the border. And Viking was designed and built by Rob Butler of Shale Hill fame.
Yep.
And so the obstacles are amazing. And again, I'm really hoping that eventually they do another Saturday race where we can make it into a whole weekend. But they've been on Sundays the last couple of years, and that's rough to get back from and for work on Monday morning.
Their course is probably one of the best courses out there. I'm amazed more people don't go. It is the right distance. It's 4 miles. It's not too hilly, so you're not dealing with any crazy hills. The obstacles are really, really cool. Really unique.
They're challenging, but fun.
Yeah. Some of them are not fun at all, but that's the point.
Well, it depends on your personal preference.
Yes, it does. They have my favorite obstacle I think I've ever done. That's their Odins Tables. So Odins Table is, there's a steep hill. And as you come down the hill coming downhill, there are 2 wooden boards going out from the hill. And you walk out on the boards, almost flat, and the end of the board is a rope. And you have to transition off the board onto a rope and drop down the hill. And it's quite steep, and it's extremely challenging to get over that lip, and quite scary if you're not confident on ropes.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest part of it, is it's very nerve-wracking to let go and trust that you're not going to fall to your death.
Your doom.
Your doom, yes.
Highly recommend Viking Challenge. That is also the same day as Run the Gauntlet down in Connecticut.
Yes, thank you.
Which apparently has the best finish line pizza in the business.
I didn't hear about this.
And even though I'm not a beer drinker, I seem to remember it having some pretty amazing beer at the end, too. Am I right?
I wouldn't know. I've yet to make it. It's, again, never been on a time I can get down there.
And it's a fun course.
Yeah.
It's easy. It's a great beginner course.
Denali hosts them. They have 2 Run the Gauntlets. I think this one is on a beach.
Oh, my apologies. I'm thinking of the fall one that has the hill.
Okay. But either way, my understanding is they have local pizza guys come out and do finish line pizza.
Yeah.
All right.
And all of those, with the exception of Viking, because it's not in New England, are Race Local, with Race Local points, Race Local swag. So, yep, there's a lot going on in May for that.
And Race Local support for the little guys.
Yeah, absolutely. So what else? We had some questions in the group along the way, but I think we answered most of them as we go. So shout out to Mike Stefano for asking some questions around the Ultra Beast. Matthew Punton for asking about the recap of FitX and the burpees at Spartan Race.
More importantly, Matthew Punton wants to organize a Spartan beer mile, and I am all in on that. We'll just have to figure out when and where.
It sounds like he already does one at his house, so let's gate crash him.
Okay.
And
yeah, I don't think we want to be on the hook for the liability of a beer mile.
That's true.
I have met you people. I don't know that I want to be responsible for you people. And yeah, Matt Punton also gave a shout out for Viking because he is heading out there. He lives in Western Mass, so it's quite a short drive for him. But I'd highly recommend getting out there and checking them out.
Nice.
Right.
Agreed.
What else we got? Anything else, or should we call it for the night?
Oh, no, we can't call it. We got one more thing.
Oh, we do?
What's that?
Jerseygate.
Jerseygate.
Hashtag Jerseygate.
Hashtag Jerseygate. All right. Who wants to
And
lead this one in?
we're not talking about New Jersey.
Not New Jersey.
Not New
well,
Jersey.
New Jerseys, but not New Jersey.
New Jerseys.
Yeah.
Right.
So, to expand on this, OCR World Championships in the past couple of years has expanded from simply one annual OCR World event to a North America event, and they recently sponsored the Enduro Challenge down in Australia, 24-hour endurance event. As an aside, Josh, if you had a plane ticket to Australia, would you go to do the Enduro Challenge? Despite your veto of
100%.
endurance races? All right, noted. And then for the first time, they have switched drill shirt vendors, because each of these races, they allowed you to buy custom drill shirts unique to that race, that year, your name. And they are switching over to Akuma, who we all know and love because we've been using them for 5 years now. So they have switched vendors, but that has caused controversy. I don't know. Some people weren't happy to see it. They were using Legendborn, a previous vendor. They have their reasons for switching, and we have always used Akuma. We've always been happy with Akuma, and I think really the message from us is if you are concerned or worried, Akuma has never done us wrong. The quality of our shirts has been awesome for the last 5 years. I have 5-year-old drill shirts that I could still wear today. If they were a size bigger, and I wasn't a size bigger. Other than that, they didn't shrink, let's put it that way.
So they stayed the same while you did not? Is that what you're implying?
I bulked up.
Yeah.
I bulked up. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and, I think I will say that one thing about the jerseys that Legendborn produced is they did a great job at marketing the design and the launch of all of these region-specific jerseys.
Sure.
And
shout out to Charles. Was it Charles McKelvey who did all those for them?
I believe so.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
when you think about what the World Championships is to us and how it's a gathering of folks from all over the world, and the jerseys played into just a great way to identify where you're from, what your heritage is, and they did a great job at teasing the release every week or two. Here's a new set of jerseys, and here's new countries, and and I don't think that's going to change. I think Adrian and team have an amazing partner in their design company that they've employed. No Filter Design just does absolutely amazing work for him. So I am super excited to see what's going to come out of it in terms of quality. And if there is anybody out there listening that has never put on an Akuma jersey, one thing you have to know, Legendborn was born from Akuma in the sense that the quality of material is the same, and what they're doing is really the same. And if you ever need to try on a jersey, if you're hesitant about it, I've got a handful of them. The one I'm wearing to the Ultra this year, I've worn through 5+ Ultras in the past, well over 100 races, and I've had it for 5+ years, and it is still, the ass end of it has some pockmarks in it from my butt being too high on barbed wire crawls. But other than that, I mean, the thing takes a licking and keeps on ticking. I think that's the saying.
Close enough.
Okay.
We're talking about the shirt, not your butt, right?
Right, yes.
Okay, good.
I don't... Jesus. I don't think in the end, some people were obviously concerned that Legendborn is no longer a part of the World Championship experience. But one, that doesn't mean you can't buy jerseys from Legendborn going forward. If you want to buy from them, you certainly still can. What it means is I think you'll have a great product in Akuma and the design that will be certainly second to none, I believe at least.
Yeah, seconded. We've been very happy with Akuma. We had no reason to switch 5 years ago, and we haven't had a reason to switch since. I think we're done.
Now I think we're done.
All right. Well, as always, guys, thanks for listening. We would appreciate it if you share the episode with whoever's not listening. Leave us comments. Thanks to everyone who threw in a question. Catch you on the flip side.
See you at my next Ultra.
Which is next weekend.
Yeah.
Never again.
Never again.
All right. See you later, guys. Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
As always, guys, thanks so much for checking out the show. We'd love to hear what you think, so give us some feedback. Submit a question, share a story from one of your recent races or events. I think the show gets better and better with your participation, and it's not just Paul, Sandy, and myself talking. So to reach out, ask questions, suggest a topic, whatever it may be, follow along on Facebook. We've got a dedicated Any Spartan show page, or you can join the community at Any Spartans on Facebook as well. Twitter's your thing. Shoot us a tweet at Any Spartans. And if you want to find our full library of episodes, I'd recommend either iTunes or Stitcher. So again, for Paul, Sandy, myself, thanks so much for listening, and until next time.